Hello and welcome to Tutorials by Larry. My name is Larry King and today I'm going to teach you how to build this XP farm right behind me using the Minecraft Create mod. Now what's great about the Create mod is you can actually take cobblestone and you can turn it into stone and you can actually haunt that stone into infested stone, and it's a very simple automated process. Then what we're going to do here with this farm is we're going to take that infested stone and we're going to basically inject it into another block. And what that does is it breaks it, turns it into silverfish. And this thing creates a ton of silverfish. So let me show you how this works. So if we look over the ledge here, you can see all of them going down and they're basically getting washed right down into the killing chamber down there. And then all we have to do is just jump down there and whack them with our sweeping edge sword and get a ton of XP. Okay, before I go through the ingredient list of how to build this thing, it's really important to know that you absolutely must have a good source of cobblestone. So this cobblestone generator right here produces a ton of cobblestone and produces it very quickly. So what this thing's going to do, it's going to make the cobblestone, and I've built a system right here where it's going to run the cobblestone down the conveyors, and right here it's going to cook it into stone, and the filter is not going to let it pass through until it's actually stone. And then once it does, it goes through here, and in this section right here, it's going to haunt the stone into infested stone. And then it's going to store all the infested stone right inside of the item vault here, and then just pump it over in this direction, and then we'll stick it right into our XP generator. So the other thing, of course, you need is a good source of power. I have a real big steam factory up here. You could actually build this entire farm on just a very large windmill, but I've got that power going up there already, so we're going to go ahead and use that. Okay, so here's what you need to build this thing. Okay, the most important thing you need to know is you're going to need 9 smart chutes and 9 deployers. Basically what we need to do is take that infested stone and we need to feed it into the deployers sort of all at the same time. So that's where the smart chutes come in. You're also going to need 2 rotation speed controllers, and you're going to need some item vaults to hold all the infested stone. 27 I think is about all we're going to use. And then we're going to need 1 sticky mechanical piston and 1 gear shift. And you're going to need some miscellaneous Create mod building blocks here. And you're going to need some redstone bits as well. We need to build a little clock to make this thing work. You're also going to need some water. You're going to need some type of building block. And also you're going to need lots of wood building blocks. And I'll explain why in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little bit of a perimeter here. We're going to go 12 deep and 7 wide, and that'll be our little template to start building this farm. Okay, that should be perfect. So the first thing we want to do here is we're going to stick a gear shift right here, and we want to do it to where the power is facing up and down. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run power underneath here into the bottom of the gear shift, pointed up. And then next thing we want to do is put a sticky mechanical piston on here, and we're going to face it the other direction, like so. And then let's get our piston extension pole, and 1 should be just fine. And I'm going to get some linear chassis and extend this out 5 blocks. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll put some slime balls on here. Okay, now we need to add some building blocks to the front of that. I'm going to go ahead and use polished granite because I think it looks really good. Now, we're going to also surround the outside of this with other blocks. So before I do that, what I want to do is I want to get my wrench, and I'm going to go to each of these linear chassis, and I want to set the range to 3. We only want it to affect those 3 blocks. Otherwise, anything else we put outside of here is going to get stuck to this and move back and forth. So all you do is you just right-click on here, hold it down, and then bring it down to 3. And we want to do that for each of these. All right, that should be fine. So next thing we want to do is we need to get power, redstone power actually, to this gear shift right here. So what we want to do is let's break these blocks here. Okay, that should do the trick. So I'm going to put a repeater right here, and then let's set it to a tick speed of 3. I'm going to get some redstone and loop it back around. And I'll put a little torch right here and a lever on top. And when you flip the lever, it's going to either cycle redstone power or turn it off to this gear shift. So we don't have any power running to the gear shift yet from the Create Mods perspective. So I'll go ahead and do that right now, and I'll be right back. Okay. Well, that was almost a disaster. I had to dig a tunnel right from my steam factory all the way down here to run a shaft the whole way to give it power. And this whole area here is filled with water. So almost had a disastrous death. But anyway, we have power now. So you right click on this and it'll actually move back and forth the way it's supposed to. So the next thing I recommend is let's get some glass. And we're going to place it over these granite blocks. And then we're going to get our deployers and we're going to point it straight down through the glass so that what it'll actually do is it'll deploy the infested block into the granite below. Oh, also I did turn on this farm briefly so that I can get some infested stone. So let's go ahead and grab a little bit of this. We're going to need it for our filter. Okay, now we're going to get our deployers. And the way I like to start this is I will jump and then shift right click. And it points straight down just like that. And then you can just connect the next one like so and so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our infested stone and we will feed those. And then let's get the next batch going here. Okay, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our smart chutes and I'm going to place them right on top of here. Okay, next thing is we're going to put the item vaults right on top of the smart chutes. Awesome. Now basically what we're going to do is we will, in a little while, we're going to run this conveyor belt right straight over to here and we're going to pump it right into here. All right, I think the next step is we want to get power to these deployers here. So what they'll do is they'll just start trying to push infested stone straight down into these blocks below it. So let me go ahead and do that and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, here's what I did. I went ahead and ran power from my source here that I have coming underneath there. I just pumped it straight up into the deployers and you can see they're all pumping up and down just fine. And they're all holding a piece of infested stone in their hand too, so they're ready to go. So not only do I have power to there, and I just use a chain drive so that they'll all move at the same time, but I also continued this conveyor belt here, stretched it out all the way to this point here, and then just brought it straight up there with a funnel right into the vault. So this thing's just filling up with infested stone. I ran the cobblestone farm for a minute and looks like it's cooking just fine. So, okay, the next step here is what I want to do is basically line the edges of the farm with wood. The reason we want to do that is because the silverfish, when they are created, they basically will destroy any stone that they're adjacent to. And it'll just make a disaster of your farm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of line everything with wood. I'm going to dig a couple blocks below here and so that we can put some water right under here. So when the silverfish are created, they're going to fall straight into the water and then run down this direction here. And then I'm going to put a basically a fall trap right at the 8 block limit, and they'll drop down. I'm going to drop down 9 more blocks, and then that way they'll almost be dead. And then we can just go down a ladder and have fun getting some XP. So anyway, I'm going to start building this out here, and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, that looks a little bit cleaner. So I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I basically lined all the edges here with wood, and I lined underneath with wood as well. And I went ahead and I gutted down below here, a few blocks below where the silverfish are going to be appearing. And then we'll run some water here, and then just going to push them right straight down over the edge into the killing chamber down below. So we got a couple more things to do real quick. So what I'm going to do, let's pour our water real quick. Okay, perfect. And let's clean this up a little bit. Okay. Now we need to go down to the killing chamber. There's one more thing we have to do down here. Basically what's going to happen is the silverfish are going to come straight down, and those things get everywhere. They're kind of a mess. So what I recommend doing here, you need to be able to reach them, and you can't use the half slab sort of trick that you do with a traditional mob farm. They'll squeak through and they'll get you. So put some chests just like this, so there's a little bit of a gap. And as long as you have a good sweeping edge sword, you should be able to reach all of them right in the back there. So let's go ahead and turn it on and see how this thing works. Okay. I put glass on here so we can kind of watch what's happening. But I mean, look at all the silverfish it's making. I don't know what the ratio is. I mean, it might be basically 1 infested stone per silverfish. That seems to be about what's happening here. So this thing probably has thousands of infested stone in it now. I've been running my cobblestone farm for a while. So yeah, just kind of let it run for a little bit. Cruise on down. And you're going to see some craziness going on here. You can see if you get a little close, they can still kind of peek through and get you. But this thing is really fast. It's hard to tell right now because I'm over level 40. But yeah, this thing will produce XP easily as fast as a good Enderman Farm does. Well, that is basically it. I just want to thank you for watching another tutorial. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'm going to keep trying to make more of these. And I hope it helps out a lot, and hope you get a chance to build one of these for yourself soon. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.